Yo, we back again. Part 3 of the week. MLG Sports Talk. Hit the like button, subscribe. What's up, Jack? How you feeling today, buddy?
Feeling great, man. It's Wednesday. It's the day before Thursday Night Football. So let's get excited. We got a big weekend.
Yes. Real big weekend coming up. TNF. We will be previewing that. So let's get to the breaking news. We don't want to hold you guys or waste your time. So the Colts, they bench old Joe Flacco. 40-year-old Joe is benched. They're going back to AR, Anthony Richardson. I don't know if this gives the Colts a spark, but Joe was not looking good out there. He was turning it over. I don't know what was going on. I thought Joe still had a couple games left in him, not a couple years, a couple games, but I guess he doesn't anymore. They go back to Richardson. What you think in this move? Does this really help the Colts, or is just the Colts just cooked?
I mean, I think the Colts are just cooked anyway. I think having Anthony Richardson in there is good for Anthony Richardson's development. I mean, you got to have reps. You got to be out there playing. All this, protect them stuff, I think is nonsense. Like, old school's the way to do stuff. Like, get him out there, let him get reps, let him get hit a little bit, let him do some hitting himself, let him throw the ball in the pocket, let him just grow and get better. You guys knew you were not winning the Super Bowl this year. I don't understand, this whole thing of, we got to save our season. Now, I was excited to see the old man bowl between Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco. 2 Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, right? 2 teams on the brink, reeling, right? Off some losses. Really, the Jets, some heavy losses. But, yeah, I mean, I think Jets win this game. They should. They need to. They better. For the sake of their fan base, for the sake of Aaron Rodgers and what they got going on over there, Devontae Adams, everything. I mean, they should win this game, no brainer. But, again, Anthony Richardson should be out there playing. He's a young kid. You got to develop as a quarterback. You got to get better. And I think he learned his lessons. So I got no problem with it. I think the Colts are trying to capture what happened with the Browns last year, but it just didn't work out that way.
Yeah, I agree with that. The old bowl, that would have been a funny sight to see those 2 old quarterbacks. Just blitz everybody. You better get it out better throw it quick because them guys cannot run. They can't do anything. Shout out to the Jets, man. Hopefully they get a couple wins. But yeah, both of these teams look cooked. Helps out the Bengals though. They're in the AFC.
I think they switched to Anthony Richardson because they just saw what Kyler Murray did last week too, like being mobile, stuff like that. But he's not Kyler Murray, right?
No,
he might get a rushing touchdown in. He might get a couple of first downs running, but he's going to really need to throw the ball. I just don't know how that's going to work out for them in this game throughout the course of it. I know it's a -4 spread. I'm sure it'll change now. I don't know.
Yeah, so you said the one thing that made a lot of sense, his development. Like, you drafted this kid. Got to play him, man. He has to, take his lumps. He has to be out there. So give him time to gel with his offense and do something because even last year he was hurt. So he really hasn't got many reps at this.
I mean, in college he was hurt. Just he hasn't had reps since high school. So it's just like, hey, if you throw a high schooler out there and they're doing this, hey, give it to him,
Hey, yeah, he's doing good.
He's doing all right.
Yeah.
Think about it. If you really step back and look at the total picture, right, he's doing all right.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
The haters are always going to hate. That's what they're there to do.
Of course. That's their job. Some of them get paid to do it. Some just do it because they like to do it.
Right.
Mike McDaniels, I guess, former player is calling the Dolphins soft. I don't know which player did. I didn't read into this story, but it's coming up as news. And I don't agree. I don't think the Dolphins are soft. They're just a finesse type team. They like to, run that up-tempo offense, get it out to Tyree, keep the running going. And then defense, maybe sometimes they can be a little soft. Maybe. But I don't think they're a soft team. Last week, they won a turnover battle, against the Rams, who's finesse LA team as well. So I just think the Dolphins had a rough beginning to the season. They're going to start getting some wins here now. I think saying this quote might fuel this team to play even better. What you think about this?
Yeah, I'll disagree with you a little bit here. I think the Dolphins are a soft team. If you just look at what, how they score their points, what they do, how they do it, they're a little softer about it. And that's okay. It doesn't mean they're weak. They're not a smash mouth team. They're not going to run it up the middle. Even on their run plays, they're more on the outside. They want to get Achane running on the outside, bounce it out. They go goal line. They use Mostert. He's more up the middle kind of a back, but he's not the big, bruiser back. I mean, you can just look at the quarterback scenario, and it's not that he's a soft player. It's just he's kind of soft in terms of his body. Allows him to get concussions easier. He's just not. He can't do what other players would look to do because of his injury history. If that makes sense. And that's just offensively. That's just my opinion, though. I love Tyreek as a receiver. I wish I had the abilities that Tyreek had. He's a beast, and he works at it. But overall, I mean, it is a soft team. I mean, it's the Dolphins. They've been a soft team for a long time. This isn't new. And it just goes to show when their quarterback went out, what did the team revert to doing? Scoring no points and getting beat. So hopefully they do use this, as bulletin board material, because that's what you're supposed to do when someone comes out like this, especially a former teammate. I don't even know who this guy is, and he doesn't even know who I am. So it's really funny, right? But the reality is, now's the time to go shut this guy up and go get a win this week.
Yeah, and you're playing an opponent that's, in my opinion, soft, the Raiders. But
I mean, the ultimate soft team is right now would be the Raiders. So, if they lose to the Raiders, that's really saying something. So you got to go out and get this W. And you're at home. It's homecoming. They should be able to get this win. Now, the right way to do it will be to really put it on them, like the year before where they put up 70. Really put it on this team. Don't stop. Go for 50 if you can, and really show who's soft. But do I see that being how this game plays out? I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough because we haven't seen much from the Dolphins. Even that win last week, that was a weird game, man. It's just turnover city, man.
I think their defense can step up in this game, though. It is. The Raiders, they have no quarterback. Gardner Minshew is their starter.
Yeah.
I mean, their defense can step up this game and do something and allow the offense to show some flashes, but I guess we really have to see come Sunday.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I feel like the Raiders just gave up on the season. I said this team is tanking.
Yeah, get a high pick.
Yeah, no reason to win, man. What's the point of winning now?
You got to get Sanders. It's the Sanders sweepstakes for them. It's obvious. I mean,
yeah,
right. Go tank. What are they gonna do?
Go tank. Get a top 5 pick.
You're even putting your best players out there, minus Brock Bowers and Crosby. It looks like you're trying to tank anyway. So you might as well go out there and do it. Get yourself a quarterback and go do something next year.
Yeah, and I'm sure now that Brady's an
owner, there's going to be changes. That's the most obvious thing. You got to look at organizationally top down, and not to jump the gun or anything, but that's how we should start looking at these teams. You and I, even from now on, especially when we're looking to place a wager or we want to come up, want to 10x, something like that. Let's look at the organizations. Like these, I'm over here. We're betting the Jets. Let's look at this organization from top down. Oh, of course, this isn't going to work. Let's look at the Bears. They look nice, but let's look at this organization from the top down. Of course, this isn't going to work. Even when the Chiefs aren't playing up to par, they're still undefeated. Why? Well, let's look at this organization from the top down. Oh, it makes so much sense, including the fact they got the best quarterback, including the fact they got the best coach.
Head coach. Mm-hmm.
Okay. No, of course, this is how their season is going to start off going. So sometimes it's obvious and it stares you in the face, what the results are going to be. And that's just that. Sometimes it's just obvious, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, you're giving a lot of free game because usually the teams that, and it doesn't always happen this way, but usually the teams that are coming out their pocket are doing pretty good. They're getting the best coaches, they're getting the best staff, they're getting the best players. They're spending the money. So, I mean, you
Makes
should
sense.
get rewarded if you're spending the money. What you put in is what you get back. So, yeah, I definitely agree. Got to look from top to bottom. More news we got. I guess Patrick Queen says he wasn't wanted back with the Ravens. He's now on the Steelers. And they play each other this week. So, we got a little drama brewing up in this division matchup. I still like the Ravens in this game. I know this might be some fuel for the Steelers here, but I know Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry going to be ready with that extra rest. So, what you think? You think this fuels the game even more, or what?
That's a hard game to call. And be honest, I like both teams. I like the defense of the Steelers. I like Russell Wilson. I liked Russell Wilson before. I even like Russell Wilson with the Broncos. I think he was done dirty there. That's just my personal opinion. I think on this team, he clicks in perfectly with Tomlin, with what he wants to do. And with the Ravens, I love Lamar Jackson. I love Derrick Henry. That's my favorite running back of all time. That's my personal opinion, obviously. Their defense has taken a step back this year, losing Patrick Queen. But I look at this quote. I don't know if that's really entirely true. Again, I'm not in the locker room, not in these contract negotiation situations. But I think the Ravens wanted them back. I just don't think they had the money to keep them, and they had to choose. And, getting Derrick Henry and switching that up, they needed to switch it up because they weren't going to win staying the same. And it sucks to lose your best defender. It does suck. And for him to go to the Steelers, which doesn't mean anything more, and they just get better, that does suck. I think he's saying this for his own personal bulletin board material to hype him up because he probably still loves his teammates on the Ravens. It's not too many faces really didn't change like that, so he probably still has a lot of connections back there. But, it's just a player trying to hype himself up for this game because it is a big game. Both these teams are rivals, and both these teams have Super Bowl aspirations, so this is a mano-a-mano. This is kind of a measuring stick game. So you got to do whatever it takes.
Yeah, 100%. You got to pump yourself up in any way you can. Get ready. It also might help your other teammates, take notice to this. So I think that's going to be it'll be one of the best games this weekend for sure. Besides that, Chiefs and Bills, that's the one everybody's looking at. But I think this one is a pretty good game as well. Thursday night football, we're going to get straight to it. I saved this breaking news. I guess Commanders roll out Marshawn Lattimore for a second straight week. He just got to the team, and he hasn't played yet. I think this is a good thing because you don't want to just rush a guy in that doesn't know the schemes and everything. So I think they shouldn't play him in this game. You're playing the Eagles, and you need guys who've been there, who knows everything. So I don't know if that changes anything. What you think? You think the Eagles still just take this game?
I think the Commanders, if they want to win this division, they need him playing. I think it probably is smart to hold him out. He's probably not ready yet, so it makes sense. But again, I'm biased. I'm the Eagles guy in this group, so obviously I'm siding with the Eagles on this game. I think him not playing is a bonus for the Eagles. I think this allows their offense to have even more of an advantage than I think they already had over the Commanders' defense. And I think the Eagles' defense is actually a good defense if you kind of looked at what's happened these last couple of weeks, let alone, since probably about the first 3 weeks of the season, they were kind of iffy, maybe 4, but from here on out, they've been killing it. So I think people are going into this game thinking Jaden Daniels is going to continue to ascend. I think the opposite is going to happen. I think the Eagles are going to go out and really kind of show why they're the heir apparent to this division, why they're going to continue to run it. And that's just my personal opinion. Again, that's no knock on Jaden. I think he's a great player. But I think people are just putting him up there as the top quarterback in the league, top 5, top 6, top 7, like way too early. There's plenty of talking heads, ESPN, Fox Sports, they're all saying it. And you should be excited, right? Especially a young player coming out and killing it. But, man, you can't look past some of these guys that have really been there doing it. You're looking past Jalen Hurts, who's been to the Super Bowl, outplayed Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. You're even Brock Purdy's, you're looking past Brock Purdy, who just played in the Super Bowl. People are just so quick to try to anoint somebody because they're excited. When it's a whole team effort, a whole team is who gets these wins, not just one player. So I think the Eagles go ahead and win this game. That's just my personal opinion. And I'm biased.
Yeah, I'm not biased. I really don't.
Bro, I mean, they got Saquon Barkley. We're forgetting.
No, no,
This
no,
isn't
no.
just
Yeah, 100%. I'm not biased. I do like the Eagles in this game. The only thing I don't like, well, we like money lines here. So if the
I don't
line
like the
does,
spread. I don't ever
yeah,
trust
I
the
don't
spread.
like the spread. I'm gonna be real, but I do like the Eagles to win this game just because they're at home, short week. We know how these Thursday night games go. Usually, the home team has the edge in this matchup. They have no travel or anything
Like
like
last
that.
week, we
Yeah,
said
exactly.
this. Well, but also it's like the reason why I don't trust the spread is just because Nick Sirianni might do some fourth down something, whereas someone
Yeah,
else I feel like they might beat them by 10. They might actually beat them,
yeah.
beat the brakes off them because they're just playing consistent the whole way through. But with Nick Sirianni, he likes to take them chances, and they could gamble and really work out, or
Or
it
if you
could set the team
backfire.
back, and then they got to come back, they got to do all this stuff, and then beat them at the end, right? So, excuse me. Yeah, I mean that's again. I think Nick Sirianni is the reason why this is 3.5 is dodgy because
Yeah.
what if they win by 3 off a field goal?
Walk off field goal because you got to keep in mind this is another big game too, division game here. Like you win this game, you're leading the division, and it's only these two teams in this division that's competing for it. So
plus,
it's a
I
big game.
think one of them has the Cowboys next week.
Right.
I think Commanders do.
Yeah, the Commanders do. Yeah.
See.
So, yeah, I like the Eagles as well, though. I'm not biased.
I like the Commanders to lose here and then win next week.
Oh yeah, for sure. We throw dirt on Dallas. We can just keep throwing dirt on their names and just prove me wrong, Dallas. Cooper Rush, prove us wrong because we know you're not.
Honestly, I'm surprised they don't have
Trey
playing. This is his opportunity.
Trey.
Why not? Let's see what he got over the rest of the season, and then you could flip and trade him. You could let him walk. You could figure it out. You already signed Dak. He's there. You're stuck.
I think after next week, after they lose again, that's what's gonna happen. And we've been calling stuff here, so we've been calling a couple weeks in advance. So I do see Trey getting an appearance. Not this week though. Who they? Oh yeah, they got the Texans. Yeah, not this week. Or Commanders. Yeah, he won't. They won't throw him in a super fire, but might as well see what he can do, man. Because at least he can try to run out the pocket. But to keep it real, Trey Lance, I don't think he's a good quarterback or will ever be a good quarterback in the NFL league. Sorry to say that, but I hope he does. The best. I'm not wishing bad on anybody. Get paid, do good, get your money, use the league because the league is using you. That's key right there, right? All right, so I guess we'll take a quick commercial break. We'll get back to it. We got a nice segment here coming up. Let's go.
Been at it all day, shit feeling like it's non-stop. Third party hit my line saying it's the last drop. Check my Robin Hood going up like a hilltop. Drinking fresh juice, strawberry with the sour side. Before it materialized, I'm thinking abstract. Protecting all the music with BMI or the ass cap. 40 on pump 2, then tighten the gas cap. Life throws you ups and the downs just like the NASDAQ. Before it materialized, I'm thinking
Outside looking in, we got Jack's segment here.
All right, everybody. So simple. We're just going to give everybody their top 5 NFL teams. We did this segment last week, just talking about who are the top 5 teams in the NFL and who's on the outside looking in on those teams. And the top 5 isn't going to have too much change this week. Now, there's a lot of big games happening right now this week that could alter that top 5. But the outside teams looking in are simple. We got Washington Commanders, Pittsburgh Steelers, Minnesota Vikings, almost said San Diego, but the LA Chargers, and of course your Green Bay Packers. All these teams have 3 losses, if not 2. They're right there on the cusp. Green Bay has a big game this week against the Bears. If they win there, they could look to maybe get in. Chargers are going against the Bengals this week. If they win there, they're looking to maybe get in. Minnesota's just trying to hang on because Sam Darnold has really just kind of took steps backwards. And we all kind of knew that was coming. It is Sam Darnold. I'm not talking about his time with the Panthers and his time with the Jets, but I never expected him to necessarily improve to become that superstar quarterback that everybody was thinking he could do. And that's just because I watched him in college and I figured it wasn't going to change too much. Pittsburgh Steelers, another, big game this week against the Ravens. If they win, they can get in there. The Commanders, big game tomorrow against the Eagles. If they win, they can get in there. So again, it's so obvious, and it's cool to see these teams start to really match up with each other now as we're getting past that halfway point of the season and winding down towards that stretch towards the playoff run. So this is an exciting time. Coming in at number 5, guys. Simple. Bringing in the rear, Philly, my Eagles. So excited about this team, guys. Jalen Hurts really just showing the hard work he puts in the offseason to improve this team. He was a bit injured last year, and everybody was really to try to, throw in the towel on him and, quarterback controversy and all this stuff. Don't worry, buddy. I never lost faith in you. I knew you had it in you. I knew you were going to keep winning, and I knew you were going to run that ball, especially with Saquon Barkley on this team. They look like their Super Bowl version of themselves from 2 years ago if they continue this winning history they have going now. They are playing the Commanders this week. It is tomorrow, Thursday night game. -3.5 is the spread. I got Philly in that game because I just think, Jaden Daniels is still a baby. He's got things to still, he got lessons to learn still. So Philly coming in at number 5 with potential to move up. But they're playing, Commanders are on the outside, so they might just stay number 5 anyway. Coming in at number 4. Buffalo, man, this team, they really have proved something to me. I was a big proponent that Josh Allen was someone that would get traded, in about a year or so, and this team was kind of falling apart. They lost so many defensive players in the offseason, but, again, they really just showed – Josh Allen is really showing me that he puts in the work, being a Central California boy. He never was looked at as somebody that was going to become a top quarterback in the NFL, but he's showing it. He's really leading this team. No matter who is on his team offensively, no matter what weapons are out there, he's getting it done. He's showing that he can get it done. And, hey, he's going against the Chiefs this week, so it's a big, big prove-it game for the Buffalo Bills. And also a big prove-it game for the Chiefs, too, because they got lucky last week winning off that field goal block. So this is a big measuring stick game for both teams, and Buffalo has an opportunity to move up. So let's see what they can do. Coming in at number 3 in the top 5, we got the Ravens. Still, I know it's a 3-loss team, guys. I know, but they just look so unbeatable, right? Derrick Henry running the rock. Lamar Jackson just making whatever decision he feels like he could make at the time. Whatever the defense gives him, he takes. So this team, again, they look unbeatable even though they've lost 3 times. Beating, the Bengals by 1. Taking my money because I was excited about the Bengals on Thursday Night Football. This team, can they make a run of the Super Bowl really is what we want to know. Are they going to actually, break through the glass ceiling this year? Well, first stop this week, Steelers. Who wins this defensive matchup? And again, the Ravens are not as good as a defensive team as they've been the previous year. So some people might think Steelers have an advantage, even though, Ravens are the favorite going into this game. Really, we're going to see what quarterback is going to make the decisions and choices that help this team win. Is it going to be Russell Wilson and the Steelers? Is it going to be Lamar Jackson and the Ravens? I guess we'll find out on Sunday. Coming in at number 2, obviously the Detroit Lions. I mean, what else do you want to say about this team? They know how to lay the smackdown when they beat the Titans, and now they know how to overcome mistakes by their quarterback. Jared Goff this last week threw 5 interceptions in this game, and they still found a way to win. And that's what running teams do. That's what well-coached teams do. They always find a way to win, and that's what Detroit Lions are doing. That's why they're number 2. Now, are they my pick to go to the Super Bowl at the NFC? No. I do think they can trip up at some point in time down the line, especially when it comes to playoff time. But right now, man, they're just clicking on all cylinders. They look unstoppable as well. Final team, I know it's obvious. I hate to keep talking about it, but it is your number 1 Kansas City Chiefs. There's going to be talking heads like Nick Wright that love it. They're the number 1 team forever, blah, blah, blah. But we all saw this last game. We all saw the Chiefs were about to lose this game. And we all know why they're about to lose this game. Their offense is not as prolific, and their defense does have some holes, even though they are a good defense. And the fact that they were going to lose to Bo Nix, hey, what's going on? Now, as fishy as that whole field goal block is, they got the win. But now they're going to go into Buffalo, into enemy territory where they don't really play the best, and they're going against Josh Allen. Some people may say this is revenge. Some people may say this might be just business as usual. I guess we'll see. Big game this week. And depending on, what happens, there may be some shakeups here in the NFL top 5. So that's what I got for you guys. Pretty simple, pretty cut and dry, very similar as compared to the week prior. But again, big weeks this week, big matchups this week. So we're going to see some changes most likely after this week.
Yes, sir. NFL top 5, my guy Jack. And no complaints here. Nothing's really changed as of last week. You know, the teams that were supposed to win, they won in the top 5. So they're hanging on by a thread. But like you said, some big matchups, some teams facing off against each other in this top 5 this week. So, and a team that's outside looking in Pittsburgh. So we got some great matchups. This will be changing this week. I'm excited to see next week the NFL.
See the shakeup, huh? It's like someone's going to take a little snow globe and.
Yep. And this is going to hold true for the top 5 and the college football too. We know that's going to be a
shakeup. Yeah, we know that's going to change too. I'm excited about that.
Yes, sir. Well, tune in tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. We will have our best bet show, fighters of the week, best bets from me. And yeah, we'll talk about some premier games, some matchups. We'll probably throw in some extra matchups just because feeling good this week, you know. So in the meantime, in between time, hit the like button, subscribe. All right, y'all, let's get this cat.
This is not financial advice. Yeah. Nah, I don't judge. Eat how you gonna eat, keep it legit. And please don't bother me, rather in advance. Or you hit the lottery, buy new commodities.